Hello, friends, and welcome to my YouTube channel Simply Stocks. And today I'm going to talk about Shipping Corporation, what you need to do after the surge that has taken place. So let's understand, let's get started. First of all, a disclaimer that this is not a stock recommendation, and people taking any position into any share that I talk about should do that with their own due diligence and research. And I'm not in favor or against any company that I talk about. Before I talk about Shipping Corporation of India, here's a small request that kindly support me on Patreon, and once you do that, it will help me grow the channel. It will help you also ask me questions in greater detail. Once you get the $10 membership, you'll have access to my portfolio, my watch list, and a number of podcasts that I put up for short-term and long-term calls on stocks and markets. For detailed market talk or company analysis, you can directly email me and we can work things out. Now about the company, Shipping Corporation of India was established in 1950 and they manufacture commercial and combat ships as well as develop ports. Was a gem in 2003 to 2008 bull run, and this was one part of the, you can say, the investment drive that India had, and the capex drive that India had. So L&Ts of the world, GMRs, GVKs of the world, and all these shipping companies Vantabus, and you had Aban Offshore, etc., doing really well. They also make tankers, bulk carriers, and docks. The market cap of the company is around 3,000 crores. These are the financials for Q3 and they are not that great. So sales dropped by around 47%, nearly 50%. Profit dropped by around 60%. There's a high government holding and debt is reducing, and basically profit and sales have dropped because there is absolutely low demand, as there have been localized lockdowns, and you can understand that demand for products has not come back that sharply that there is absolutely, you can say, movement of goods and services or goods. It's not yet happening. Probably from next year onwards things would look even better. If you look at the performance of the stock, so stock is up nearly three times from the August lows, have been a wealth destroyer in long term. So over the last 12, 13 years has done nothing, and it has destroyed wealth for people who have invested long term into it. Institutional investment has increased over time, so people are invested, high net worth individuals are invested in the stock and they are buying the stock. But overall the performance of the stock has not been that great. Numbers for Q3 has dropped as demand has been muted, as I have explained, but I think optically speaking, with the numbers being down for FY21, I'm pretty sure FY22 numbers year on year will look very good. Sector has been under economic stress and probably one more quarter of that would continue, but from April May onwards, things will look very bright. At least it would look on the upswing rather than on the downswing that it has been looking for the last 2 3 years. Government is trying its best to get the investment cycle going, and probably that would happen from FY22 onwards, and that is probably one of the reasons why the stock has surged so much. A decent dividend pay in sunny days, and they do pay good dividends. So all these public sector companies, all these PSUs do pay very good dividends, and that is also an attraction for investors to stay with the company for a longer period of time. So what has been the reasons for the up move in the stock? PSU has been back in fashion on strong ground. So what has happened is government is looking to divest stake. Government is looking to put in public-private partnerships. Government is looking to get in more stake from the private players. Government is looking to sell stake on the bourses and get in, you can say, private equity players to get into these government-owned subsidiaries or government-owned companies, albeit not quite at that level that they are successful, but they are trying their best. So all these things look positive for the PSU basket, and it has been beaten up to pulp. So all these PSU stocks in all sectors have been virtually a non-performer whatsoever over the last 12, 13 years, and that's why people are looking at this. And you have to understand that most of the stocks have run up, most of the sectors have run up, they are at multi-year highs, and this is one sector that had not done well, or one part of one section of the market that had not done well. And with government promising a lot of things, people are getting into it. Maybe we'll know after a few years whether they have got sucked in or whether they made the right decision, and things will happen on the ground. We'll see in future, but at the moment, based on the premises that whatever the government has spoken in the budget or during their briefings, it looks like that there will be some movement on the divestment front on some stocks, and Shipping Corporation of India is up there. So that's why probably the buying high promoter and institutional holding is a big positive. Government have the highest stake. This is a big positive. Very good dividend yield is a huge positive, and that was the reason to buy the stock, because in March of 2020 the stock has fallen to abysmal level, and at that point the dividend yield was such that was very attractive to buy the company. Small cap recovery has added to the move. So you have to understand that small caps were also beaten black and blue from 2018 onwards, and the recovery has begun from October November, and that has led to the movement in all these small companies, whether they are government owned or private companies. And Shipping Corporation of India was no different, and that's why heavy buying came into the stock as well. So there has been a complete PE re-rating, complete re-rating of stocks from those March 2020 lows, and that's why the stock has also moved up. If you look at the technicals of the stock, then there's strong support around the 65 levels. You have to understand that yes, the stock has surged. The biggest support that comes is around 65, and long-term support comes around 60 levels. Can buy as a trade with a stop loss of 80 at the moment. It's around 80, 82 or so, or just broken 80. So what you can do is keep a stop loss of 65 and hold the stock. I think once 95 is taken out, we can see 120, 130, and even 150 levels on Shipping Corporation of India. It is just that it is a matter of time. It looks very strong on charts, and I won't be surprised if 120 is taken out on the longer term basis. But then again, consult your financial advisor and take your own call after analysis. But I believe that 60 to 65 is a strong support, albeit it is pretty far away from the current price. But that is the biggest support that I'm looking at. If you can't take that loss, or take that stop loss of around 30% from the current price, 35%, probably avoid the stock. If you can take that, then you take a call on the stock that okay, divestment will take place, and I will look to probably wait for that, and then the stock will surge. So that is my point. At the moment, I guess it is slightly late to get into such stocks. Probably this is the corrective phase that you can buy, but again, you have to take that risk of around 30% on these PSU stocks, because the movement is extremely volatile. You have to understand the movement is volatile, and you could go down 20-30% in a matter of a week. So what needs to be done? I believe that you buy with a stop loss, and do not buy as if that okay, I'll buy and wait for 5-6 years and this stock will perform. Keep a stop loss in place, and if the movement comes in your favor and really the stock does well, but take your profits off 50-60% higher, 100% higher. It is a trading play. I don't believe that it is a investment play at the moment. News based trade on divestment is taking place at the moment, and the sector overall is under pressure. So you have to understand, fundamentally speaking, shipping sector and all these sectors which are capex intensive are under pressure, and you could get into trouble buying into them rather than buying into private sector companies, and have less than 5% exposure into such stocks. So this was my video on Shipping Corporation. Please like and subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that you get my videos straight away when I post it, and kindly support me on Patreon. Thanks a lot for watching.